Hi, and welcome to the Sunshine Summit Take 2 for today. My name is Heather, and I am the host of Sunshine PowerCuts, a podcast which features two types of episodes that alternate. Sunshine ones that offer inspiration drawn from nature, and the PowerCut ones I share my journey living off the grid. Today I've got a bit of a story about that, but this week I'm bringing to you a week of live streams celebrating connections because they're really important to me. They are what lights us up and they help us feel a part of something. I've got incredible guests joining me this week. We launched yesterday with day one with 3 incredible guests. We had Derek from Sometimes Geek, Rhett Hall from the Braintrust Network, Wallfly Podcast and Cardinal Branding, and then we closed the day out with Anthony and Steph from the Off Center Archers podcast. Today we've reshuffled the schedule and we've got Lo from Low Nose Media joining us first, and we'll have a quick break after that and then catch up with Adam Higgins from Odd Dad Out. So a huge thank you and welcome for your patience this morning to everyone in the live chat and to Lo. Hey Lo, how you going?
Hey Heather, I'm great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Now that we are here and we're coming through, hopefully people can hear both of us, and yeah.
Well, let's make it clear. We've had it under control this entire time. We were just building up the suspense for everybody.
Totally, dangling the carrot. So I just want to start out with how we connected, which was a recommendation in the Podcastage Discord server. I think Bandrew or someone posted a link to your channel, and I kind of checked out what you did, but you were also at the time just getting into live streaming yourself. So if you would be able to tell us a little bit about you and Low Nose Media, that would be amazing.
Okay, well, first I guess I'll explain how I actually got into the YouTube thing. I do voiceovers, and during the time it was just getting really, really slow. You know, like you get an audition and you would have to hope that you landed, and then of course if you get the gig, it was very hit or miss unless you had some kind of retainer job. So as far as me, I just kept on finding myself, man, I'm not getting a lot of practice as far as like being able to prepare this stuff. So I created Low Nose sort of as a way to practice myself, you know, practice being in front of the camera, practice just kind of speaking, practice with the presentation. It was just kind of like a development tool for myself. So I just like, you know what, I think I'm just going to do this about stuff that kind of like fascinates me. And that's like being up at 3 a.m. trying to figure stuff out. Yeah. So that was essentially how Low Nose sort of came about. And then it eventually somehow became a microphone channel in some kind of way. And, you know, either way, it's mainly about just kind of helping people with their everyday general technical struggles. Mm-hmm. Because like we all have them every single day, you know, just like right now, like we did. Probably should do a video on that. And then it came to that part, and then eventually the community just grew and grew, and then I was just like, you know what? Let's get into live stream. So decided to just one day, like, had no plans. I was just sitting here, and I was just like, go live. And I was like, all right, hey guys. And it was exhilarating. You know, I loved it, and I was just like anyone who does a live stream, you get the bug. And I had the bug shortly after that, and then my girlfriend started joining me, and then it became even like this bigger thing. It's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it was a ride. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing a live lately, so I'm working on that.
You've been putting out a lot of other content lately. It's been amazing to see, and you've got some plans coming up, but we'll talk about them a little bit later in the stream. And I just want to, because this week is all about connections, if you have any connections that are really important to you that have been helpful for you in any of the things that you've done, because you've done a lot of stuff and you are very creative. So yeah, if you want to share some of those, that would be cool.
Okay. As far as connections, I want to say I've made a lot of cool friends within the community. Like I think like podcasts are just like a really big example. When I first started, I see this guy who just had these videos of microphones in the thousands, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then one day he just comments on my video, and I'm like, wait a second, like you're that guy with all those subscribers in those videos. And then he joined the live stream, and then we're just like commenting on videos, and then I joined his Discord server, and he joined mine, and just like, oh, this is like, you know, it wasn't kind of like, ooh, it's like a big YouTube person. It's just kind of like we're just all the same, and we're just all kind of doing our own thing. Yeah. And then I have another friend who I made connection with. His name is Jim Merle. He's a transplant helper. I've mentioned him plenty of times. He had a heart transplant, and he's doing his part as far as just kind of like making people aware and everything. And even though I have nothing to do with transplant or anything, like his message is just awesome. And sometimes he gives me like nuggets of wisdom. I'm just like, wow, I never knew that. So that's pretty cool.
That's
You
cool.
know, and I'm just looking more to, you know, I just want to help everyone out as much as I can. So even though there might not be like a true connection, even if you just like reach out to me in a comment, I'm like more than willing to just kind of like get back to you and just like have a small conversation, just like get to the nitty gritty and kind of, you know, just help you out.
Yeah, the content that you're making, like the videos that you've got up on Low Nose Media already, are specifically that you're trying to give back and help people so that they can make the content that they want to make and they can do the things that they want to do. And I think that's really awesome. I love the locos community that you're encouraging people to be a part of. And Bandrew said hashtag loco for life in the chat. So, yeah. Have you made any connections? Like you said, you do like improv and things. So have you made connections there or with comedy or anything else that you've been doing?
All right, so I'm still going through my classes of improv. Right now, I'm doing level 4. Just to give you like a real brief example, I did 1, 2, and 3, and then no one moved to level 4. So I went back to level 2, redid level 2, then redid level 3, and now finally they started 4. So as far as connections, I'm just kind of building connections with the cast of the, I guess of the improv playhouse, and they're just from like all walks of life, from like audio engineering to acting to photography to lawyers. It's a crazy group of people who are part of this, and I kind of see it as I'm laying the groundwork for something bigger. So no real connections have come from it. Maybe a voiceover job to come in the future, but it really is a laying the groundwork and just kind of some kind of way, just improving myself as just being like quicker, you know, from the start off the top of my head.
And you mentioned that your girlfriend has been part of the live streams and stuff too, and she's kind of got on board. So she's a good connection that you have. She's been real supportive of what you're doing.
Yes, that's the most amazing connection. Yeah. She's my number 1 fan, my number 1 supporter.
That's awesome. Sure. It's always good to have someone in your corner cheering you on when you're on this kind of on any journey. Really, it's always good.
Yeah, that is very important, and it can be so hard and so tough for people who are just trying to do this and they have no one just kind of at least acknowledging what they're doing. It gets tough because that's how it is normally in the beginning when everyone kind of starts something off. It's just you want some kind of feedback. You just want to hear something. You just want to know that your work's not just going out there and no one's not taking notice. So I feel like that's what I also want to provide with people when I feel like someone leaves a comment on like they leave a real interesting comment on one of my videos. I'm like, oh wow, you know, that's a really cool name. I like that their little icon. Let me check them out, and I'll go in and I'll check out some videos and I'll see it. And if I feel like if it's for me, then I'll subscribe. Cool. So I really want to give back in that way, you know. Yeah. Especially when I first came across you, like, oh hey Heather, you know, like, oh you actually have a podcast. Let me check this out, and I was all into it. Oh, subscribe, all that.
Yeah. We actually found that we've got quite a bit in common too. So I'm really into the mindset side of things. My Sunshine episodes draw inspiration from nature to help uplift people. And you're quite into mindset and personal development and things and well-being as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I try to kind of sneak the mindset and personal development into Low Nose. There was a time when I started my videos with, hey, what's up? It's Lo. I'm here to help, teach, and inspire you. And then I wasn't really sure if people were being turned off with that. So, like I told you before we started the live stream, I've actually created another YouTube channel where I actually focus on that.
Yeah.
And it's called Lo Name Lara, which is my full name. Yeah. And that one is solely dedicated to the purpose of personal development, positive mindset, and just if you ever feel like you're in a rut, we kind of look at perspectives or ideas, or we explore things that will just kind of help you see things differently to kind of, I guess, get you off your ass, basically.
Yeah, get you up and get you moving and back on track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what are some of the resources that you've connected with that you found really helpful for your mindset?
All right. Well, I started reading, and I will say this. Up until a year ago, I was not a reader. Like, I hated reading. I was the worst reader. You know, and that's kind of a weird thing to say for someone who likes to do voiceovers. It's just like, what? Like, you're supposed to be a strong reader. I hated it. So about a year ago, I was just like, and actually, I have to go back. My girlfriend, she kind of introduced me to a couple of speakers, and books and people. And I started listening to them, and I just started realizing, like, wow, I've always felt like I've kind of like thought like these guys or these speakers, but they've just kind of polished it in such a way that was just like, oh my God, it's just like that's exactly what I've been thinking this entire time. So with that being said, I was like, okay, not only do I just want to hear this positive stuff, but I want to learn, like what is the breakdown of all this stuff. So getting back to your original question, I started reading a lot of books when it comes to personal development, audiobooks, reading books, and just maybe doing some seminars, and just kind of, and also going back to my girlfriend, she was just like, let's do this. So we would just have these insane conversations going back and forth of just exploring these ideas. Yeah. So that's how it came about.
That's awesome. I can't wait to check out the new channel. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely on board.
Yes.
It's right up my alley. Yeah.
I try to make a video every single day. That's like my challenge. Yeah.
Amazing. You've got a connection with your son who you've got the Squiggly Glitch channel with. So would you like to tell us a little bit about that? That would be really cool.
Yeah, Squiggly Glitch. That's where me and my 3 sons, but mainly me and my oldest son, I'm Glitch and he's Squiggly, so we call it Squiggly Glitch. We just play video games where we make really cool entertaining family videos. And I also sort of use that channel as my testing ground for cool video effects and editing effects. That's kind of like where I test all my stuff first on his channel, and then I'll bring it into my channel. And I think in the end, his channel has like the cooler videos because like I kind of like started making like really cool. But yeah, so all his friends, they're getting on board. They're joining. They're like, hey, what's up, Squiggly? It's me from school. So that's starting to pick up a little steam. We've only got like 94 subscribers, but still, it's really something for me and my sons for us to get into.
And doing it together.
And they really look.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's cool. Yesterday when I talked to Anthony and Steph, they're into archery and they kind of involve their family in it. Their kids are really small, but they take them to the range and where they go. So it's really cool when you can bring the family in and make it a part of what you're doing, because I'm guessing the kids would be real super interested in the technology stuff and the creating that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. My middle son is actually into improv with me, so we're always doing like daily improv, like out of the blue scenarios, which is really fun. If I gotta just to kind of go off track for a little bit.
Okay.
We would like imaginary scenes, right? Where it was just like, hey, like where are we? Okay, we're flying on top of an eagle's back, and there's like a city on top of the eagle, and we're fighting some kind of big monster, and blah blah blah. And something just came in, and then we're using swords. Like we'll just create this entire scenario. And I was like, wow, these are really cool. I should probably record these and probably do one of these what is it, like whiteboards where you kind of like see the drawing being go as you hear the story going along.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was the idea. I'm like, man, that would be really cool if I could do that. So I recorded one of our little adventures, and then I got like a drawing tablet and I tried it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But
yeah. Still fun that you've got that imagination and creativity with the two of you and you're sharing the experience together. I think that's awesome. We got a question from Derek from Sometimes Geek, and he says, where do you find the inspiration to start so many different types of projects?
To tell you the truth, it's something that's always been like the things that I'm doing have been my 3 main passions, right? The low noise media, kind of dealing with the tech and the audio and video. That has always been a passion of mine, just dealing with like these things. So for me to share this with you guys, it was just natural. The mindset, the self-development, that has always been a passion of mine. So that's something that I want to get better at. So like I said, I'm kind of starting this for myself. The more I do this, the more I know I'll get better. Mm-hmm. And I invite everybody to just kind of like join along in this experience, to kind of see like how far this can go. I truly think it's going to go somewhere, but the journey itself is something amazing. So like starting that getting the inspiration for that wasn't hard. It was just actually getting it rolling, because I think I announced I wanted to do that in a previous live stream, maybe like months ago. Yeah. And then it took until like maybe 2 weeks later for me to finally put my first video out. And of course, me and my kids, like we love playing video games, and me, the kind of the homemade movie guy dad, like I just love doing that stuff. I would do it for free any day of the week. So I'm just doing what I already love. I'm not really coming up with anything brand new.
Yeah. How are you finding doing the behind the scenes stuff? Because you've been going live a little bit, like Facebook Lives or something, and just like little clips showing the behind the scenes of how you're working through it. So my question is, how have you found that for you? Is that helping keep you on the motivation push to do what you're wanting to do? That was a loaded question, sorry.
Actually, yes. And I'm going to say this right there. For any of you right now, and I was going to make a video of this, but any of you right now who are trying to step up your game as far as like your awareness within social media or YouTube or something, you have to get this book. You have to get this book. It breaks down everything you must do when it comes to social media. So everything that you saw me doing on social media, I was just basically taking from there and putting it into practice, you know, and I was just like immediately I was just like, oh, wow, like it works, you know, and obviously it's not like I'm not burning the world on fire or anything, but it's just like, oh, like it actually works. You know, of course it's like a second job, but it works.
Yeah. And that's cool that it's given you the ideas of what to do and that you're actually taking action and doing them, putting them into practice. And I mean, that's how you get anywhere is by actually doing it.
Yeah. Most important, yeah.
Yeah. We had another question from Larko. He said, time to ask the big question. What got you into microphones?
Oh, wait, just in general or what had me doing microphones for the channel? I'll just say it in general. Yeah. Okay, so I started off in radio just doing voiceovers, right? So obviously just using a microphone was just a simple tool. And getting to the point now, I suffer from a problem called shiny object syndrome, where I see something.
Gear acquisition syndrome is another way of putting it.
Yeah, that sounds more techie. So when I first started off in voiceovers, I would think I need the next biggest gear, right? So maybe like 3 months into voiceovers, I had a mic, and then like 3 months later, I had another mic, and then 6 months later, I had another mic, and then maybe 7 months later, I had like a $1,000 compressor. And for some reason, like during that time, I had the belief that if the better gear I had, the better I would sound. And not really taking much into like, well, Loning, you really should be like working on your craft if you want to sound better. Yeah. I didn't learn that until far too late. So come to the time when I start low nose, I'm like, oh wow, I have all this gear. I might as well talk about them. Yeah. So that's how I got into microphones. You know, they always say it's like if you want to start a YouTube channel, review something, review anything, review this wallet, review mouse, and I basically applied that. Review this microphone, you know, and I always wanted to be silly. I would always see like a lot of videos out there where they're like, hey, you know, we're here, and they really didn't care. Just like it's almost like you were bothering them for this showing up to their video. I was like, forget that. And like I want to have fun when I'm doing this. I want to be silly, you know. Like I'm just naturally like silly and imaginative with everything that I do. So like I want to incorporate this into my videos, and let's have some fun with this. Let's see how good it can get.
That's awesome. Better. Yeah. We also had a question from Banju. He asked, how have the improv classes affected your content?
Oh, I have to say it has helped me tremendously. Meaning being, as I find myself more confident, and I would have to say it's kind of tied in just doing the, you know, just a sheer amount of videos that we do, but I find myself trying to go less off a memorized script and just kind of going off of my feelings. So naturally, before any kind of video, I would probably do my initial research, gather my thoughts. But previously, I would be like, okay, I'm going to say this, right? And I would end up doing 30 takes. Mm-hmm. Now here, I'm probably just like maybe 5 or 10 takes, but I'm just like, you know what? If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Let's just have fun with this. I just want to feel natural, and that's what improv is all about. Just kind of like showing your most natural, what you're feeling in the moment kind of situation, and just kind of expressing it.
That's awesome. I think that it would really help sort of get people's creative juices flowing and get ideas going and just sort of ease into things rather than getting caught up on it, because you just go with the flow rather than sort of resisting and holding back. Anthony said, Steve J said, Whose line is it anyway? That was such a good program. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's still on, but that was fun. Anthony C said, it's great that you're creating a scenario for the kids at an early age. It gives them a leg up for their future. And Derek from Sometimes Geek missed the book. So we can possibly, I'll get the details of the book off you as well if you want to show it again. But we'll put it in the description.
I'll show it again.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Crushing
It by Braintrust. Yes. Do it. Do it. Do it. It will show you how to use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other things as well.
Quick question for you. How did you come across that book?
How did I come across this book? I think just going through the that's right. So my girlfriend and I, we went to a seminar, and he was actually one of the guest speakers. All right. So I've always heard him like in some random clips, like in those inspirational videos that you see all the time on YouTube. But once I actually heard him speak, I'm like, man, this guy's speaking to me. So he had a first book called Crush It, and then he made the second book called Crushing It. And I was like, okay, I'm getting this, and got it. And it was the first, I probably got like 8 books, and that was the first book I read.
Cool.
And it was a best first book that I started with. It just kind of really narrowed a lot of things for me. So I knew where to kind of concentrate, where I wanted my attention as far as promoting myself on social media. And it also gave me the ability to kind of offer advice to other people, since I'm starting the Lone Nose Media, to kind of offer, I guess, kind of like different aspects of how people, they don't know how to promote their business or their brand. So it kind of gives me that, like, you can read a book, but I'm doing this, I'm applying it, I'm going through the highs and the lows, and I can actually share that experience with other people. Like, listen, this is what you're doing, this is what you should be doing, and so on and so forth.
I reckon that's really valuable, because some people, they can be a bit daunted by books, whether it's the reading thing, or it's just not knowing where to start, or not knowing how to apply what they've read, or anything like that. So you going through it and then sharing that with people is really valuable in the way that you do. We had a couple of other comments that Adam and everybody else... Yeah.
Hold on. Heather, I absolutely agree. Don't even bother reading the book. Just go ahead and just ask me for my opinion.
There you go. Ask Lo, and he'll help you out.
Can I pause you for a second? I just want to say hi to my girlfriend. I just saw her in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. I love you. So glad she stopped by.
I am glad too.
So, yeah.
It's good to see you there.
Yeah.
Thank you also, because I know that she came by the last when we were streaming back in March. So thank you very much for being here then. It was awesome to see you in the chat. And I'm sorry that I think then I didn't have enough time to say hi. But yeah, I did see you, and I've seen you today. So it's so good to have you here. We had awesome. The other ones were that everyone has the gas issue, the gear acquisition thing. Nice to see you, Steve. Thanks for coming by. SP likes nice things. And David asked, how different is your on-camera self from your off-camera self?
I want to see, it's pretty much... Okay, my off-camera self is very dirty. I've got a very, very, very dirty mind. Okay, like I can't say anything without sticking a dirty joke in there somewhere. You know, and you may even notice sometimes in my videos, I'll actually make like little nuances to those like little dirty jokes. But for the most part, I feel like they're sort of, they're kind of coming closer together as far as my off camera and on camera, because one thing that I know for sure that you got to be genuine in front of camera, you know, and one thing that always bugged me when I first started doing YouTube was how all of a sudden when I got in front of the camera and the microphone was like, hey guys, I was like, oh God, it's so awful. You know, and a lot of people do that on radio too. When they first start off, it's like they're just talking, all of a sudden they're in a microphone, and all of a sudden they just start tensing up and they feel like they gotta sound like a voiceover person. So yeah, that's my goal. Heather, I think you do an awesome job. You sound natural, like no matter what.
Thanks. I'm gonna say that I'm faking it till I make it.
All right, then. No one needs to know that.
Everybody now who's watching this knows that.
They all know your dirty secret.
Yeah. I think though what I want to say like about the Sunshine Summit, back in March when I did the first one was my first real experience going live and doing an event of this kind of magnitude, and I was nervous and scared and all of that other stuff, but I kind of pushed past that because essentially my passion and my purpose was to shine bright and light up the world, and I've kind of been doing that. I've been real supportive of a whole bunch of people, and this way is a way to do that too, so I appreciate you being here and shining bright with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just want to say, and I saw it from the first time when I heard your podcast, and then when you took the jump to create the summit, I'm like, wow, this is going to be big. Like everything's grassroots in the beginning, but like this will be big for sure, without a doubt. Like it is going to be like a staple, for something to come, like for sure. So
that would be awesome. What else? I have a mic vocabulary. Sometimes Geek from Derek said I have a mic vocabulary and an in-person vocabulary. So you use different words when you're on mic and then when you're in person, different ways of describing things maybe.
Oh yeah, I absolutely, I could see that. Bottom line, it all comes down to what you feel comfortable with. I guess what I was expressing was just kind of like the whole persona we take, but it's almost like someone who they grew up like in the country, and all of a sudden they lived. For my example, they live in South Florida, and all of a sudden, they kind of adapt the kind of flat English over here, and all of a sudden they meet someone from the country, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, hi, and you're like, oh yeah, hi, we're just having fun, and all of a sudden someone from the country is like, hey girl, how you doing? Oh hey, what's up, man? All of a sudden they just kind of like adapt that kind of accent or whatever it's colloquialism. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so that's how I see it as far as the vocabulary and in-person vocabulary.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing though too, because your creative content could be very specific. I have a lot of sunshine related things that I talk about in my podcast. I don't necessarily use them in my everyday conversational stuff, but they are sort of underlying because that's what I do rely on to draw my inspiration from and stuff. And I do keep a clean show for my podcast. I'm sure there are people in the live chat and people who listen to me that don't believe I can cuss, but I can. I just don't do.
I heard it when we were setting up. I heard it, guys.
Lo has proof. But yeah, you've got to set. I think when you're creating content, you've got to figure out what it is and the way you want to present it, because that is part of your brand, if you like, and it's what people are going to come to expect from you. And so mine is a clean show, and that's what I'm going to stick with, because that's the thing. That's what I want to present to people. So yeah, did you want to talk about has anything changed then? Because you said that you're getting a little bit more similar to your off-camera self, on-camera thing. Has the theme of Lonos is still the same? You still want it to be fun and educational and stuff? Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I guess I would have to sort of swallow my words, because the persona of the Low Nose and the Low Nose Media, and the persona of the Lone and Lara, the inspirational motivational channel, is completely different. Yeah. There is very much, banter. It is a very dramatic atmosphere when it comes to the motivation part. Heather, I completely forgot about your question. What was your question again?
Just the way you're putting Lonos forward, the brand or the theme that you're going with for Lonos. I get the idea that the inspirational channel will be different. It's the same with my Sunshine episodes. They have a different theme. So I have a very calm, relaxing voice, which sometimes puts people to sleep in the Sunshine ones. And in the PowerCut ones, I'm sort of a little bit more natural because I'm just sharing a story. I'm not trying to inspire people, really. I'm just sharing the narrative of my life. And then for my patrons on Patreon, I get a little bit more personal, so it's a little more casual and easy flowing. Yeah. So how has that? Is that kind of a similar thing that you've got for the different things that you're doing, the different ways you're presenting your content?
Yes. Yeah, no, it does make sense. But ultimately, for me, in the end, everything that you see me doing has two roles. One, to provide value for you, and two, for me, ultimately, to get better at what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like anything, like me speaking or me in front of the camera, it's all just for me to I'm super excited to see this or what I'm doing 2 years from now. Like the sheer thought of that is just like, wow. Like I'm super excited to see the Sunshine Summit in 2020, right? Like what will that look like?
Yeah.
So I just have like every little video is kind of like a little documenting the journey in any kind of way. So if little documentations are kind of like providing value to you, then awesome. But like at the same time, like I'm trying to get better.
The building blocks for what you want to achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. David had another question. Do you have days when you just don't know what content to create, but you want to make something?
Every day. every single day. And at the same time, I'll have pages and pages of notes or show ideas that I'd want to do, but the bug or the inspiration kind of left for them because something else just kind of came up. So yeah, like I have a video that's going to come out Monday, and I'm like, what am I going to put out after that? And I've got like pages of ideas, but I'm like, no, it's got to feel right. I just don't want to like manufacture something just to get out there. It's like there has to be like an inspiration for it.
Yeah.
And
what are some of the things that give you inspiration? Do you find ideas that people are struggling with, or in your community with the locos, or where are you pulling to those kind of things from?
So the inspiration for my videos first comes from how do I want a video to be like? Okay, so forget about the product. It has nothing to do with the product, even though like the thumbnail would say this microphone or something, but it's all about, you know what, I want to do something like this, where I don't want to talk about something technical. I want to speak about something more that's kind of like more valuable, more encouraging, something that you can actually use and incorporate. And then I'll find something where I can apply to that scenario. It's almost kind of like making a cookie cutter movie. You sort of have like the framework and you just kind of throw a story in there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the first thing that's my goal. And of course I try to have I always have like little points that I want to hit in everything.
Yeah.
Like I want to set up, I want to create like a conflict and have like a resolution. It's probably more complicated than it could be.
I have seen that you have called for feedback too, to asking people if that's what they want to see and things. So you are asking for feedback from your audience, which is a really good thing. A feedback loop is quite helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And David had another question. Do you treat this like work or more like a hobby of a recreational activity? I'm guessing your content creation, or the low nose media. I'm not sure.
I definitely treat this as work, even though it doesn't. Even though it's not bringing in nothing close to anywhere to like making providing a living for myself. But I feel like I have to, because what I'm doing now is very much in the direction of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So if I feel like if I treat it like a hobby, then I'm only going to get hobby results, unless I'm kind of just like maybe lucky people who just kind of like do it for a hobby and they just like all of a sudden blow up. But I just have like a different approach to it, where it's just like I want to be really, really, really good at this.
Yeah.
And I guess being really good at that is sort of like my hobby, but at the same time I'm taking it very seriously. It's kind of like all over the place.
Do you have content, like have you got a release schedule for the content that you've got coming out?
For a what? Huh?
Have you got a release schedule for the content that you're making? Does it come out on specific days?
Okay, so it's so funny that you say that, because my girlfriend tells me that all the time. I need a content calendar, and the short answer would be no, don't. I am very much like, oh, inspiration. right? And then I'll try to like backlog just content calendar. Yes, I will backlog all of those videos and that's it. So yeah.
Is that something you're working on then, since your girlfriend knows that a content calendar might be
Yeah.
handy?
He has beaten me over the head with that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your point about, though, treating it like a job is really important, because what that does is it helps people take it seriously, to put their effort and passion into it, and to kind of push past things when it doesn't kind of go the way you want to, because it does take a lot of effort. And if it was just a hobby, you'd probably let it go a lot faster than if you're treating it like a business. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that for myself, my podcast is something that I started, like what you're doing, just for myself. It was to help lift me up and get me through the struggles, and just kind of share my thoughts on the whole journey, because it was hard living off the grid. And when I started it, though, I wanted to have that kind of consistency, and I've struggled with that too this year. I've had a lot of ups and downs, and it's been hard to get my podcast released on time. But
Right.
like, a lot goes into an event like this too, and I stuck at that and made that like a business. I booked in everyone and treated it like it was
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
serious
and
thing.
absolutely, and you know, obviously we want everything we do to kind of get steam and get some nice little notoriety. But me, even if I never really get that, I am super satisfied with just knowing that during this entire course, that if for some reason or another I had to speak to a group of people in front of camera or something, that over time I've built like these skills to do that, you know. So like all of this would not have been time wasted at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, yeah,
It's all part of
You
your
can't take
experience
that-
that you can use going forward
Yeah.
for anything else. Yeah. Rhett is in the chat. He is a big fan of yours, and he says that you've helped him a ton with your OBS stuff for live streaming, which is exactly what I told you before we started. So thank you very much.
I'm glad I helped you out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Your girlfriend said that it would
Yeah.
be more efficient for you too, the content calendar.
No doubt about that. It really would.
And David said, do you get the feeling of, I'll never reach 1 million subs so far? If yes, is it a genuine one, or do you still consciously know that it's perfectly doable? It's so far to get to 1 million subs, sorry.
Yeah. I truly think it's very doable. The only question in my mind is just a matter of time. You know, I think if this thing stayed up long enough, eventually it would hit 1 million subscribers. It's just, what am I doing to make that number happen even faster? So that's where I'm just kind of like, you know, trying to tweak things out, maybe do things maybe a little more comedy, maybe not be so, you know, techy, just kind of like, and one thing that I really want to, one thing that I feel that I want, I guess, is like the main selling point of Low Nose is like, yeah, there's a tutorials, there's a microphones and stuff, but I'm really trying to sell like you guys. Like I'm really trying to sell you guys on me. I'm really trying to sell you guys on like just really enjoying a video. So even if you're, you know, someone who has no care for a microphone at all, because like you kind of like the way that I present things to you, or just kind of like how I just talk to you, or just kind of like little quips and stuff, you'll probably sit down for a microphone review that you really don't care for, just because you're like, I like this guy. So I'm really trying to push myself on you instead of a microphone tutorial.
Yeah.
The secret's out. Sorry.
I think that's awesome, because yeah, people definitely can connect with the person, and I know that the people that I really connect with, like yourself and like Banjo and other people, I'll follow them to the end of the earth. I'll watch all of your stuff and it doesn't matter how long it'll take me, I'll still watch it and I'll be there and I'll support you, because I believe in you, and I and for you, I see the value in what you do. And I think I made a comment on social media somewhere, and I summed up what you're doing, and I see that it's...
Oh my God, yeah.
What was that? Sorry?
Oh no, it was perfect. Yeah, like you wrote it down. I was like, oh my God, I need to borrow this. Like it was a perfect thing. I should like copy and paste it and put on like YouTube description and everywhere. Like it was perfect.
You should do that. I can't actually remember what I said, to be honest now, but it was I do see the value in it. You are trying to help people and give to the community so that we can make the content that we want to make. I think it was something along those lines. And I really appreciate the I rock from your girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome that
almost
you are almost at 5,000 subs on your channel. I think I hope that more people get to connect with it. That's why I'm glad that you're here for the Sunshine Summit. There might be some people today or who watch this back later that didn't know about you that will be able to find you and connect with your things and connect with you as a person.
Right, absolutely. You know, my girlfriend, she just put something right here. One step closer to 500 billion. That's sort of our. She introduced the story of $500, and then I just kind of ran with it, and we made it 500 billion. And you ever heard of like the saying where it's just like you want to make $1 million, help 1 million people? Right. So everything that I do within like Low Nose, Squilly, or even my inspirational channel, it's all going towards the idea of like in the end, my goal is to help 500 billion people.
Wow.
All right. So everything that I do is like it's got to be in that direction, no matter how insignificant it may seem now. Even you may see in my videos, like you'll see like a little whiteboard and it says like 500 billion. I'm always looking at that number every single day, 500 billion. And obviously, like I'm not going to hit 500 billion people like while I'm still here. But if that number keeps on climbing up to that 500 billion when I'm gone, then like that's what I'm kind of doing. So me personally, I don't see myself giving up on something because I've fallen out of interest or something. It's just like that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So kind of like you're dreaming big, because David then said that he asked his question because so many YouTubers keep saying that when I had X amount of subs, I never thought I'd reach Y amount. And he gets the feeling that those words aren't genuine. I don't know what the motivation behind people saying that would be, but I think that like what you've mentioned throughout this whole stream so far is that each thing that you do is a tool or a learning a new thing that helps build up your toolkit or your experience for yourself. So regardless of what you do, you're moving forward. And then, like you say, you've got the big dream goal of reaching 500 billion people, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be able to tell us where everyone can find Low Nose Media and on the social media places and YouTube and your inspirational channel and things?
Yes, guys. Okay, so let's lay out the gamut. Low Nose Media. I am on Twitter, Low Nose Media, Instagram, Low Nose Media, obviously YouTube, Low Nose, sort of, and also Facebook, Low Nose Media. Then there is me and my son's channel, Squiggly Glitch, just Squiggly Glitch. We're only on YouTube, gaming channel and cool, fun family videos. And then my inspirational channel is Lonane Lara. That's my full name. You can also find that channel. There's a link on Low Nose to get there. But you can find that Lonane on Instagram, Lonane on Twitter, and Lonane Lara on YouTube.
That's awesome.
And that's not it.
I want to do another shout out to your girlfriend and say thank you so much for being an incredible connection for Lo, and for being an awesome supporter of his community and things, because you're just amazing. It's always nice to see you in the chat of Lo's live streams and stuff. You make us all feel welcome. And for being here today as part of this live chat for the Sunshine Summit. And to everyone who has come by live today, I'm sorry we had a bit of a false start, but it's been incredible hanging out with you, Lo. I am very grateful that we connected and that we have a lot in common, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens going forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think I lost your video, so it's probably a good time to wrap it up. I'll just switch to me. Yeah, so thank you guys, everybody, for coming by. Really appreciate it. I will put the links to those things, all of those things, in the description of this video once I've had time to catch up. We're going to take a quick break from the Sunshine Summit, and then I will be joined by Adam Higgins from Odd Dad Out of the Odd Dad Out podcast and Audio Voice Productions for round 2 of the Sunshine Summit for day 2. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon.